Hello everyone and welcome to the brand new campaign. This time it's going to be the Lusophone Empire, which is going to be Portugal going to create a giant colonial empire, hopefully encompassing all of Africa. We shall see. The game rules, I'm switching back to standard AI aggression just to see how it's going to look on the newest patch, which dropped yesterday, I believe. I'm going to be playing without the actual DLC because from what I've seen, the AI East India really tends to collapse quite often. So hopefully without the journals, it might have some more luck because while, well, disintegrating India is cool and all, I'm not sure if that's the vibe we want in this campaign. So let's into the game while I'll start talking about the setup. There were two other nations. Well, basically the premise of the campaign is going to be I will be free to conquer as much land as Africa as I want. The only issue is I will not be able to incorporate any of it. So all of it is going to be unincorporated. That's because I think the two newest additions, most important additions in the DLC and the patch are new political movements. As you can see over here. So instead of people just going for a law, there are movements that want a whole set of laws being set in place. They have things they like, they don't like. They are pushing ideologies on characters within interest groups and so on. Those are the people now that can lead to revolutions and also can support you in passing laws when they have a certain level of activism. I think when they're agitating, if I recall. And the other thing is society. So now instead of people just being discriminated or accepted, you have 5 stages of class, you can say, status. And they give various bonuses, increases, assimilation, and so on, depending on various, the level of acceptance, which actually depends on a set of things, which is mostly culture and religion, but also some smaller stuff, like pretty much everyone gets +10 from living in their homeland. So it's something interesting to see. And with Portugal, with being a pretty small nation when it comes to its core over here, in Iberia, I think a bit smaller society will allow us to watch the political movements a bit more closely. So it's like we're not gaining constantly pops from conquest and so on. So maybe it will be a more interesting play over here. And also, well, having a giant colonial empire will allow us to see how the acceptance status and new society tab works quite a bit. There were 2 other nations I was considering for this kind of colonial playthrough. Sweden, or maybe Netherlands, which have their own kind of nice things. So, for example, Netherlands already has huge colonial empire in Dutch East Indies, and Sweden has 4 states, which is going to be important, I will mention in a second. But Portugal does start with the perfect setup for what I want, which is a good amount of unincorporated states already in Africa, which makes them pretty much ideal. I think Portugal in the core European lands has the least amount of population out of the 3. Seems like Sweden has a little bit more than the others, but it's not really that relevant. About the 4 states, so having 4 states is kind of important because this is what below 4 states you get a penalty to mass migration. You need to have 4 states that are available as mass migration target to get a lot of mass migrations, and I think it's going to be pretty important for us to get those if we want to have any other pops accepted in our mainland. So hopefully all of those states will be growing absolutely massive by the end of the game. And for us to have the 4 states, I'm going to allow us to take Galicia. It's not like a goal, but we can if we want to, because Galicians live here and Galicians are Lusophone. So makes perfect sense for the Lusophone Empire. And also because, well, no Lusophone Empire would be complete without Brazil. We are free to protect Brazil as well. I think the previous campaign also was supposed to have a bit of a focus on Africa, but first I was just so focused on Italian Peninsula, then I was getting sidetracked in Asia and fighting the great powers that kind of didn't get around to really playing with those states in Central Africa and North as well to a certain degree. So I think actually a campaign focus on this stuff is going to be interesting. But yeah, so that's the setup, I think, explained okay. Let's look at our laws. Well, it's mixed, better than non-European, but for a European nation, it's not that great. We have pretty bad institutions, though we have all of them, which is something. We have interventionism, which is not bad. Land-based taxation, not ideal. Tenant farmers as well, not ideal. Oligarchy is pretty nice. I actually kind of like it. It's actually one of my favorites, probably, because it has the no penalty for ideological incompatibility. I think, yeah, when you have actual voting systems, you never get the -10 legitimacy penalty. So this is pretty nice. It allows us to create kind of weird governments that we might need to push certain laws through. And also getting some authority is always nice. We would probably be needing this authority for the edicts for more migration. The greener pastures, greener states. What's that? Greener grass campaigns. And well, I think that's... we do have freedom of conscience, which is pretty interesting. And now freedom of conscience works actually kind of differently, because the way it is, I think, for example, the popes will always try to convert to religion or culture, if they can, that will give them more acceptance. So I think, considering that it's +20 to state religion and +15 from religious traits, that means that, for example, Protestants will try to convert to Catholicism for us, which is pretty nice. There's still +15 to Catholic Church. Catholic Church is going to be a menace at the beginning, I'm pretty sure, but yeah, we will have to do the trick with moving to no health system to then again move to public health insurance, because it's not going to be easy. Similar thing with religious schools, though I think religious schools are usually easier to pass. At this moment we cannot really do either, because we don't have the tech, but that's fine. Well, when it comes to economy, we pretty much don't have any economy. Yeah, there's just not enough goods in our market, so the prices are out of whack. Either it's -75 or +75 or close to it. Yeah, we have 5 tools in our entire market. Now, there is one interesting thing about our starting position, is we do start with a defensive pact with Great Britain, which is pretty nice, and a trade agreement as well. So I think we'll be working kind of hard to actually keep this relationship going as much as possible. We also have an obligation to Spain, which is interesting. So just a fair thing. They are actually, our relations are already pretty good. They probably wouldn't want an alliance now. Although this is fine. Defensive pact is absolutely great. And one of the first things we are going to do is start wars, because that infamy being at 0 means we are wasting infamy, and there will have to be something done about it. I didn't really think about first changes in laws. Not sure if there's anything we really want to push through. We could try to push, actually, changing cultural laws at the start. We do have fairly strong intelligentsia, 16%. Getting racial segregation pretty early. That would increase acceptance. As you can see, there's the acceptance from various things related to culture. And with racial segregation, you get +10 acceptance from culture, just anyone. Which is pretty nice, because then you can get up to 20. And with 20, you are at culture erasure, which is where it's somewhat better. Actually, now we can look at the society in Portugal. So the full acceptance, which is 50% of the population, this is pretty much the Portuguese. All the people living in these 3 provinces. Then we have no one as second-class citizens, which is pretty good, I suppose. But then we have 1% of our people who have open prejudice, and this is pretty much exclusively Afro-Brazilians who are on Madeira, Azores, and Cape Verde. And they are Catholic, so this, as you can see here, so they have 20% from cultural trait and 20% from state religion. Then we have a pretty interesting group, which is almost 10% of our population, which is people whose cultures we are not accepting at all, but they're Catholic and they live in their own homeland, which is, for example, those Marathi here who live in Nova Goa. Actually interesting that Nova Goa, despite being a super tiny place, has almost 500,000 population, which is pretty significant. This and Macau overall have more than 10% of our population in those two tiny places. That's pretty interesting. And then there's everyone else, which is over 40% of our population. And this is kind of bad, I think. Minus 50% qualifications. We really don't want people to be this low, I don't think. They cannot work in military buildings, they cannot work in government buildings. And they cannot be assimilated nor converted. So we don't really want people in violent hostility. So maybe the first thing we do is change the racial segregation, but do I maybe want to go for cultural exclusion? I think we get 10% from the monarchy. Yeah, because our queen is a reformer. So we could get plus 10% for it. I also think about changing to property to women, but yeah, the opposition is a bit too high for this, so maybe not now. So this would piss off petite bourgeoisie, but are they... They are relevant. Yeah, this is really good chance to actually pass. And yeah, the fact that only petite bourgeoisie would oppose it makes it pretty interesting. Because the chance to actually do this might not happen again in the future. The difference is only in 50 authority, and this will guarantee acceptance for cultures, everyone, even when they do not live in their homelands. So this pretty much guarantees that no one is going to be in the violent hostility, which is probably the best option. This will actually help a ton. I didn't expect we would be able to do this just right away. Yeah, in the previous campaign we stayed at national supremacy the entire campaign because the clergy supported it, so we couldn't change it all. But now we could do it instantly. It's not guaranteed, but the chance seems pretty decent, so let's actually go for it instantly. Let's look at... There's a bit of a change in UI over here. Let's quickly look. Probably we need some luxurious clothing. So apparently we have so few textile mills we cannot really afford it anyways. We don't have any tools. Not that we can use that many. We could get cargo ports, but at this point we probably will want to. Maybe to import the tools. And probably want to switch to secular administration, to be honest. We will. I think what we'll be trying to do is weaken the church for the time being, and then when we remove charity hospitals, is strengthen them back again to push for public health insurance and religious schools. I don't know. We shall see. Can I actually? I could increase colonial affairs, but everything has malaria at this moment, so it doesn't really change much. Where's the colonial thing? Oh yeah. Everything has malaria right now, so it doesn't really matter. Minus 90% growth. Let them just do its thing for the time being. Doesn't change that much. And I think actually when it comes to tech, malaria I think would be a pretty good thing to rush. We're not that far away. We would have to finish the first age, but then just pharmaceuticals, which would be pretty nice to have anyways. We could also rush for skirmishers just to get more warfare, but I think it's not that much of an importance. Of course, going into production would be also nice, but I think our starting population and economy is so small it wouldn't have that much of a difference. The railways we will need eventually. I think first thing is going to be going for Kinin. Also important thing, now that we are a minor nation with no laissez-faire, it's important to remember our interest rate is 20%. We cannot be going in that with this much interest. That's just not going to be a thing. Okay, so this is done. Let's actually try just going for more tools and see if I can import enough of them. It might not be that easy, but we can try. Oh, this is new icon, I think. Oh, so serfdom and homesteading gives a bit more grain. That's interesting. I think it changes that much in the grand scheme of things, but that's interesting. We could immediately go for iron frame, but I think we have like no iron. We have a little bit, and we are exporting it. It will be very expensive. We have one construction sector. And yeah, that's all small tools, and we are not producing any tools right now. Yeah, okay. This can wait. We have no coal as well. Though more infrastructure would help a little bit. How much coal exactly we have? None. Okay, never mind. And let's try this. Or you know what the hell, let's try... let's see how much coal we get. We have no glass, but that's fine. We can import from Great Britain quite freely, so maybe they have some stuff. Yeah, just even with the bad price. China has a lot of tools. With the small arms. Big ring. Okay. I mean, we shall see. And I think the first target... We have, like, what, 20 battalions. Don't have that many ships, though, so maybe trying to go for something... Oh, they have no armies. So I think Gaza is going to be our first target. We could go for Transvaal and Orangey, but I don't want to make the early game all about the gold mines. So let's say as they are the Boer republics, we are just not trying to fight the Europeans, at least for the time being. Portuguese Gujarat is isolated. Oh! I didn't even realize we have... And they have no port, right? Okay. They have no buildings. Oh, wow. I think that's a small omission on the paradox side. And this is a pretty bad priority for the first building. And they seem to be actually doing okay, so this is something that needs to be done, but maybe not right now. 10.2 standard of living, they're doing really well. Like, Macau is starving, and those guys are just fine. They have no contact. Yeah, starvation is also a new thing added in the newest patch. Yeah, we have... Yeah, people in our colonies are not exactly thriving, but, you know, you can't get everyone everything they want. Like, food. You know, we have some starvation on our mainland as well, but actually pretty insignificant numbers. Yeah, for the most part, the Portuguese Gujarat is almost as good as our capital. Okay. So I think we just go for tools as the first building. I think so. Yeah, we have a ton of states, but only... Portuguese Gujarat is incorporated. I think someone forgot to set this... Yeah, I don't think this is supposed to be like this. I think it was kind of missed. That's fine, doesn't really matter. But I think that Paradox just kind of added this province and just forgot to edit the buildings and other stuff. Doesn't really make sense. It does have natural harbors, so we might be able to get a decent port here eventually. But yeah, so let's unpause. Made it before the 20-minute marks, so it's actually not too bad. Our tools are suffering. Petit Bourgeois is angry, but it doesn't seem like anyone... oh yeah, the Portuguese... Oh yeah, so we will be actually seeing how it affects the movement with this. Because of course those people are going to be super pissed because, well, they want the Portuguese to be supreme. They're going to be moving to 40%, which means they're going to be affecting the Stolchans, I guess? Quite significantly. But I think if they stay at 9%, we still have a decent chance of passing this. Okay, so let's see. We have some stuff spreading, that's really nice. We also need clippers, apparently. I thought we were producing some of our own, but we can just trade with the Brits, and it's for free, so excellent. Oh yeah, we have all this authority that I haven't really done anything with. And let's actually remove those and check what we can get. Yeah, liquor seems like to be a good idea. Coffee is 600. Technically speaking, services is slightly more efficient. Though I'm not sure if I even want to spend all of this authority. No, wait the hell not. And what we can do, I don't think all those encouragements are really that worth it. Greener Grass campaign, it's too early. I mean, we could actually. Maybe try to sneak a quick mass migration. We'll actually get all of them on and see what happens. And then let's plan road maintenance on the capital. And the emergency relief was actually changed quite significantly, so now it gives pretty good bonuses. So market access, food security infrastructure is really nice. Tax collection sucks a little bit, but for example, in our unincorporated states, there's no tax collected anyways, so that would be pretty nice. Though it requires like a catastrophe to actually be happening there, which could be famine or devastation. Devastation happens quite often in wars, so that might be something to be used. Though at the same time, it's quite a bit of micro. That's probably not the best way to spend your time. And I really don't need to be building this port. I guess I didn't really click on the tooling workshop. So I could be, instead of actually going for this, I could be going for logging camps and fishing wharves. The price of food. The fish are quite cheap. The problem is we have no tools produced locally right now, which I think is a problem. So I kind of want to get at least some tools going in. And then we can switch into some fishing. Logging camps are much more beneficially. So yeah. Where's the... Did I not click this again? No, I did. Am I blind? Or is it the private construction? Oh, the private construction is building a tooling workshop. Okay. Well, those guys are pretty nice, damn. How much money? 10k in reinvestment. I don't think that's too bad at the start, to be honest. Maybe I'm just being confused because we actually have interventionism, which is not too bad system for a start compared to traditionalism, which is what I most often start with. So maybe that's what's confusing me a little bit. Do I still want to build my own tooling workshop in this case? This definitely is the least important. Logging camps are more. It's 91 weeks. I mean, honestly, what we need right now is more construction. And yeah, that would mean logging camps because they make construction cheaper. And yeah, let's go to war. Start this session with a session and a campaign with a bang. I guess the session has been going for quite a while. I don't think anyone is going to care about those people. Yeah, they mostly actually like us more, so should be just absolutely fine. They might be not that weak, but actually, yeah, they don't have any starting army. That should be no problem. Let's move our 2 armies into the 2 positions available. Spend all the money we have, because why the hell not? They refuse demands. Peasant political movement. Peasant movement. So what do the peasants want? Luddite land reformer. Oh yeah, I think I'm not going to be liking them. We have more success than stall still. I think... They lost like 1% relevancy? No, doesn't seem like it. I think No, there was no changes. The intelligentsia got maybe stronger or something, because I think there was the same number on both sides. Maybe I'm misremembering something. Lost diplomatic ties with Austria. What is Austria? Let's see, I'm not sure if military assistance granted to Texas. So this is also a new thing. It just gives small bonus to the military that's gaining this, like +10/+10 to defense and offense, I think. Spain has given Puerto Rico to Cuba. Well, there's a lot of stuff happening, so I actually am interested in some of those. Khalsa Raj is how the Sikh Empire is called now. They have slightly different borders. India has a true HRE experience now. Oh, wow. Burma is a bit more decentralized, I guess. Diplomatic ties with people. Hanoverian Danish rivalry, of course. Diplomatic ties with Japan. Interesting that, yeah. I guess we have no connection with Japan anymore. It's the Dutch nowadays. Diplomatic ties with other people, and those guys gain a little bit of land from East India Company. Okay, so I'm interested to see how the AI does, what the free patch actually has for British East India Company, because my experience, well, what I expect is that there's not going to be much change from how they usually play. There's just more subjects. The more subjects can also mean problem for them. This is going to be a bit interesting. Let's switch to standard speed 4 for me. Not sure if we will be forming a power block this campaign. If anything, it would probably be a customs union. Portuguese are obsessed with sugar. Oh, they did say in the patch note that the chance for culture obsessions is much higher, but this is quite quick. And I assume... Well, they're not really that obsessed right now, but this might be changing. I think we have access to a lot of sugar, at least. Yeah, we can make it directly in a lot of places, so this is really good. This basically means more demands, which is usually more useful than anything, because that means you can sell more stuff in our economy. Increases prices, which increases your GDP. And now they're all obsessed with sugar. Kind of random, but, well, who could blame them? I like sugar as well. Animist rights movement. Good luck to you guys. Oh, minority and traditionalist. This is a new ideology. So they don't like... They agree they don't like women, but they prefer this church to be separated. This makes a lot of sense because you don't have the leaders from minority groups voting to make themselves oppressed from the religious angle. But yeah, I don't foresee those guys are going to be doing really well. The Portuguese are really not that into supremacy, I guess. They just don't care that much. Though I shouldn't be talking before there's any brawls on the law. Persia is going for Kandahar already. And so I'm interested to see how aggressive the AI is going to be on the standard setting. It was quite aggressive in the previous campaign. I kind of got out of habit to changing laws. Harvest condition, torrential rains. Well, that's not ideal. And it's affecting our core lands. Not ideal. It's probably not a problem. Those guys still don't have any army. And yeah, instant win on the first one. Really good. Just 2 more. 1 in 8. British are continuing to colonize. Actually, we might want to go here as well. There's a bit of a wonky thing where just starting to colonize somewhere gives you at least 1 province instantly. And the Brits will have access here, and they probably wouldn't have been able to... Oh, wow. That was quick. Okay, sure. We are losing 5 per year, which means we can still go for more aggressive expansion. I guess Congo is a fair target. They're Catholic as well. Are they actually Catholic, or is it just the state? Yeah, it's just the state pretty much. But yeah, I think we can just go for it. We can just start quite quickly, I think. There's a chance France joins this one, but well, hopefully they don't. There's no reason not to start with some minor conquests here and there. There's one trade route already that's not really giving us any money, so might as well. Yeah, we don't need the guns. Not really, I guess. We're importing. It's, I think, porcelain. It's from the start of the game. Don't really need that. Those are free trade routes with Great Britain, so they're fine. It's not really necessary. We are exporting clippers. I don't think we can afford that. And all the rest are actually, we're exporting a good amount of coffee to the Brits. Actually, let me check a look. So I have a lot of wine, a lot of dye, a lot of sugar, and I think I could make a decent money exporting those. Not sugar, apparently. Dyes, apparently Americans would want it, but... export, right? They have tariffs, okay. No, Austrians would want some dye. Hardwood. I think we're overproducing hardwood. This is a new menu, so I need to get used to those icons, but it seems actually fairly intuitive. Owners. Yeah, this is a good filter. Hopefully it will be a bit more useful than the previous one. Let's just switch to just the... Do I even use hardwood in my current economy? I do. And I'm actually... Yeah, actually, let's do this like this. Okay. So I'm still overproducing hardwood, but that's just temporary. Diplomatic ties with Austria. Oh, we know what Austria is again. Excellent. Yeah, there's no other war goals. Let's start trying to go into Ethiopia and Somalia. I think Madagascar is going to be a bit too difficult to invade just now. And also we are running out of money. Very, very quickly. Really didn't take too much time at all. And there's not much we can actually invade from here. I guess Cairo is... No, it's not centralized. Yeah, because there's nothing that we can attack from the coast. Oh, damn. This is... Wow. I think this seems like a pretty good start to this campaign if we get cultural exclusion, like in the first year of the campaign. This would be kind of crazy. But kind of looks like it's going to happen. Sardinia Piedmont, we are realizing what Italy is. And they actually kind of like us, that's nice. Russian-Swedish rivalry declared, yeah, that does make sense. But I think, yeah, now that Finland is part of Russia, I don't think Sweden and Russia are going to have any more wars. The war when Russia gained Finland from Sweden is pretty interesting because the Russians just went over the Baltic Sea with their army without using any boats during the winter, which was kind of interesting. I think they went over here and... Did they went to Stockholm for this? I don't remember. I think they crossed in two places. Which is a pretty bold move, but it worked out for them. Intelligence are now powerful. That's... I mean, wow, nice. Sure. I think in theory, getting more cultures accepted should help with intelligentsia. Or at least weaken the other ones, because the other ones want to oppress those cultures. Maybe, possibly. Yeah, so they have severe malaria. No Portuguese are going to be moving there anytime soon. And yeah, we have to do something about the money. Can definitely lower some of those. Don't really care about prestige for the time being. Don't want to be raising taxes. Actually, yeah. I could get Catholic Church into the government and then raise taxes. I mean, actually, maybe that's a good idea. Catholic Church is not really a problem. Right now, at least. I should be pretty happy. Yeah, you can see we have intelligentsia and Catholic Church in one government, and it's fine. Because the ideological incompatibility is relatively small with oligarchy. Could make it even smaller if we removed monarchy, but that's going to be pretty far. Corporate state is a new thing added in the patch, which is the fastest equivalent of Council Republic. It's pretty nice that this DLC is exclusively... Oh, Persia going for another war against Oman. That's interesting. We could get a good amount of prestige, becoming a major... Could become a major power of this. And what exactly do we get from being a major power? Less loan interest rate. That would be pretty nice. And maybe we could keep it for a lot of time. Migration attraction as well. Influence. Yeah. We are so good at not being racist. People just made us a major power. Wow. Excellent. Got a new national movement. This is starting to be quite a lot. I'm kind of afraid that if every culture starts their own movement, it's going to be a bit of a problem over time. How many Bakongo people are in nation? Okay, this is the second biggest ethnicity, so I guess it's fine. Sunni rights, that's also fine. I think this is the second religion as well. Well, third. Animists are already over here. As long as it's the national and religious movement are kept within reasonable numbers, I think it's fine. There's quite a few movements currently. Wonder what's going to happen to this once the law passes. We have an intelligentsia petition. They want landed voting. It's really something I really want to give you guys right now, because even though it would be fairly easy to get done, yeah, everyone loves that. The problem is it would be pretty much worse than oligarchy. It gives the same authority, but you have votes and legitimacy penalty from ideological incompatibility. Yeah, I don't think I want that. I'm just going to say no. You guys should be happy anyways. Not really. I guess you have -2 in total. With this, you might be happy. Yeah, so we are entering our credit. It's not too bad. I guess I can continue with a bit more prestige, just to make sure I'm a bit ahead of the curve. And I wanted to actually look... Did I try to export wine? Anyone wants some wine? Tuscans? Yeah, sure. We can try. I want to get rid of some of the goods in my market. Yeah, there's way too much of some of this stuff. Anyone want some coffee? Austrians. And Americans. Let's go to Austrians. Yeah, there's not that many dyes. Let's try export. I just want to get rid of some goods from my market. Liquor. Is there anything that has over level 1? Americans want coffee. Yeah, sure. And that's everything is level 1. Can I import some of my pain points? No. Actually, luxurious furniture. That should be pretty easy. Yeah, I can get it from the Brits, so that's pretty nice. Tea. Well, wow, that's actually kind of difficult. I can get some of it. Could use some more coal. Probably not going to be that easy. Yeah, that early in the game, AIs are not really good at getting the really important goods. Apparently we need some paper. Yeah, let's get it from the French for the time being. We are starting to run out of bureaucracy, but I think it's fine for the time being. Well, hopefully I don't end up eating my wards. This is actually... Yeah, this is actually pretty good stall overall. Yeah, I mean, the chances are still looking pretty good. I'm not too worried. Evangelizing. Don't really remember AI using evangelizing before. I think they were. But aren't they? They're Theravada and Luang is Theravada. And they're majority Theravada. Okay, well, sure. Oh yeah, I was supposed to make a colony here. It makes no progress. Well, you can see we gain a province just for free. Just a bit of an exploit. Now that means there's only one more nation that can fit in here. Got a famine in Portugal. So it's actually first time I'm seeing this this UI in one state. Where is it? In Portuguese Kenya. Oh right. They have no market access. It's actually a horrible place to live right now. And they need a port, basically. And getting them a port would be nice for several reasons. Another one would be because we gain a border with Galicia. Would make invading them much easier. We just focus their port a little bit more. No, the actual problem is just we have no construction currently. There's no way we can afford that much iron. Right? Oh. I didn't notice this menu. Everyone is starving there. People are just going to die here before I finish the port. Although they are mildly starving in a lot of other places as well. Overall, it's not too bad when it comes to foodstuffs. How much iron do we have once again? Yeah, we have 18. And we're already importing some. Could stop exporting. It would be really expensive though. I think it would be cheaper to just get construction sectors like this. Look at the free is pushing it a little bit. But I could increase taxes. There's enough space for that. It's still going to be expensive. I will go a little bit into that and we'll see how it goes. Because Kenya should be a bit of a priority. And the thing is, we get no money from all of these places. All of our money is going to be coming from those three provinces. And apparently this thing, because it's incorporated for some reason. The thing is, it's going to be interesting. Before, I think it would have been pretty... Well, it's not the effective way to play this game. Like, the effective way is to actually incorporate everything, or at least make those states into colonial states, like the Canada and so on. So you actually incorporate them one way or the other and gain money in some capacity from them. But it's going to be interesting how the financial district work in this, because there is going to be some money being sucked out of those territories and actually being paid on taxes in the mainland. This does make this strategy a bit more viable. Oh, rural folk appeared, that's great. Ceylon is being supported by France and bankrolled. Someone's trying to drive a wedge, I suppose. And yeah, this is the British thing. I wonder if AI is hard-coded to actually go for it. And we got it instantly. I think it's going to be... it's not going to happen immediately, I think. Yeah, it has a bit of a time for the cultural community acceptance to go away, I think. And eventually it's going to be the level. It's going to be at 30, which is going to be middle of cultural erasure. I mean, it's not the greatest place to be. It's still, I think, slightly better. Those guys are, how much are they going to get? We're going to get to 60, so the Afro-Brazilians are going to become second-class citizens. Granted, there's not many of them. Actually, very few. It's also interesting that actually the most assimilated group when it comes to the different accepted status is actually the open prejudice. The second-class citizens are not being, they're being assimilated a little bit, but not as much. as those guys, and even the cultural erasure is being assimilated slightly more, which I think is pretty nice touch, that people who have pretty good rights are not really that interested in assimilating that much. Everyone is allowed to convert. Oh, other than violent hostility. I think conversion is going to be a big help in increasing acceptance of pops. There is some benefit for keeping people at slightly lower acceptance status. I mean, they lose political strength for one. Voting contribution. They still have radicalism in the same way. They are being paid smaller wages, which I think when it comes to in situations where they're not paying taxes, the pops having lower wages is actually good. Because that means there's more money that's actually going to the mainland financial districts. Which is interesting. This kind of inefficient gameplay creates kind of interesting dynamics, where there's within the framework of the way I'm playing, there are some interesting strats you can be doing. But as I said before, it's not the way to go. This is definitely not the way to go. Actually, oh yeah, you can just remove some of those movements from this outline if they're really... There's another cultural one. So if they're really just constantly marginal, you can just remove them. So then you might grow surprised when they just do something, which is not ideal. But maybe there are some pop-ups. It's interesting to see. It's going to be interesting to see how they're managing the UI of this thing. Yeah, we are going to that. It's not terrible for now, but interest is piling up. And it's going to be a problem. You know, we are already paying, yeah, we cut 5% of our interest rate, which is good. I think this level of credit is going to be fine. And also remember that investment pool is doing its stuff as well. They actually have almost £1 million. Money went out to the Queen. I don't think I want Petit Bourgeoisie to be any more pissed off if I can. Oh, they're xenophobic. Yeah, if I could make those guys happier, this is giving me radicals anyway. Political migration. So I could get Manuel Rondon, which is a pacifist from Brazil, so he's accepted because of his culture. And his role folk. I don't think I really want you guys to be showing up. Yeah, I think I can eat the prestige penalty for a while at least. So yeah, I think this is a super good first session for this campaign. Just, I never would have thought that switching to cultural exclusion would be super easy, but that's because our intelligence is fairly strong, relatively speaking. And I guess the Portuguese just don't care that much about being supremacist. And this might end up biting us in the butt eventually. We shall see. They're going to stay agitated like this for a pretty long time. And there's a lot of interest groups that are involved in this, so we shall see. But yeah, for the time being, a lot of people are going to be accepted now, at least slightly more accepted. This is an interesting start. So yeah, see you guys and see you on the next session.